Hello, streamers.
But wet
Hello, YouTubers. Hello, anyone who's watching.
wrong platform, dog.
Well,
Look,
it moves over to YouTube at some point.
It's all the same, really.
Hello,
Yeah,
it's
all good.
streamers.
But wet
Hello, YouTubers.
Can we just play Rocket
Hello,
League,
anyone
seriously?
who's-
Well, no, we can't. But I wish.
well,
I would like to.
Just because your internet's potato. It's all the same, really.
Hello,
Potato!
But
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Hello, YouTubers.
Can we just play Rocket
Hello,
League,
anyone
seriously?
who's-
please
Well,
help me,
no.
Mr. Potato.
Everybody
We can't,
panic.
but
Whoa.
I wish.
Six viewers.
Just 'cause you're
Welcome
into
along,
potato.
6
It's all the
viewers.
same, really.
Hello.
Potato!
But
What's wrong? What's wrong?
Hello, YouTubers.
Can we just play Rocket
Hello,
League?
anyone
Are we
who's-
still on the
please
internet?
help me, Mr. Potato.
Everybody
We can't,
panic.
but
Whoa.
I wish.
Six viewers.
Just 'cause you're
Welcome
into
along,
potato.
6
It's all the
viewers.
same, really. Classic.
Rookie mistake.
Listen, Steve, you're not the only one with NBN anymore. Don't make me take away producer rights. Listen, you will lose your salary and bonuses.
Listen, mate. The only
You go from
thing I
zero
can
to
do
paying us.
with NBN, the only thing I can do with NBN is stream. I can do nothing else, but I can stream.
What a world. Just make
Yeah.
money off Twitch, mate.
All right, we got 7 viewers. Let's go. Boom, jump. Damn. Woo.
Dude, I need at least 10 more minutes before I even know where I am.
Never announce the viewers. So for the sake of the VOD, people think we have hundreds.
All right. Well, I'm not going to say it on the stream, but I'm going to say more about Hello World.
So, we're playing Grim Dawn role-playing, right?
Graham down.
Yeah, great job, everyone. So, last I remember, we were going back to Ether Prime. No, I'm joking.
Listen, mate.
Yeah,
Can we do a crossover?
Yes, definitely. So I'm just going through my notes real quick. I did just some real quick brain dumping in terms of where we were, blah blah blah. Now, one thing that stuck out from last week was that you somehow persuaded the Peacekeeper Vincent Chambray to utilize that derelict building for a stronghold for you chums to build up a bit of an arcane army.
Yes.
Do we want to spend 5 or 10 minutes hashing that out, or do we
Yes.
want to move along to?
Can
Or
I
we
just
have it
ask?
ready by the time you get there.
I'm just looking at the video preview. I'm not seeing any stream, by the way.
Oh no!
Have you changed the scene? Have you unmuted us? Oh. Sorry.
I can see it.
Hang on, let's have a look.
Oh no! Panic.
Have you changed
Oh,
the
good.
scene?
My-
Have you
my
unmuted
internet
us? Was janky. Sorry, world.
You got to go and scare us, huh?
Listen, mate.
Woo!
There's
Mr.
Mr. 12 seconds.
Just 12 seconds. Wow.
Oh my god.
Good God.
It's my favorite number, seconds.
Listen, where were we? Yeah, I was thinking if we want to, having it sort of set out in advance might be better, so then we don't have to figure it out when you get back there. So I'm happy to spend a 5 or 10 minute little prologue figuring that out. Otherwise, we can just pick up where we left off. Brach, Jeb?
Yeah, I'm all for doing a saucy little, hey, this is what we figured out before leaving.
Yeah. Well, I just have notes, really. Like, I've just got a few dot points. I haven't really... It's still hard to figure out. So far, I do have the obvious stuff. Like, for example, you'd be rolling for a target number. Or really not you, but the stronghold. So really Everett is rolling to do stuff for you. And I figure there's going to have to be some sort of like stronghold turn, if that makes sense. Like kind of you certain strategy games, you have like overworld turns, that kind of thing. I don't know how often it'd happen, but you'd, I guess, have a stronghold turn to try and develop that over time. Is that the sort of idea you guys had behind running the stronghold? You know, kind of as its own semi-sentient entity ticking away behind the scenes that you can interact with? Or
Look, you know me, I want everything to be an RTS. So, yes.
no, it should certainly have some level of autonomy. So you kind of leave Everett there with instructions of what to do and that kind of thing. Or you have sort of a bit of an overworld presence on it. You know, I wouldn't say,
Yeah,
oh, you're not in
okay.
Dark Vale, so, you know, shit can't
What-
happen.
Yeah, I mean, we can send messages and be like, "Hey, get
Yeah,
this ready for us." But okay, what if there is an element of we have to keep on top of like remembering to do things, and if
Yeah.
we don't give instruction, then nothing happens. But otherwise,
Perhaps.
once
Well,
we've said,
Or they continue to
do
do
this.
something.
I think it's important to think about what do we want the stronghold to do? Like, what's the output or the outcome of having a stronghold? And then make sure that the rules sort of enable that, rather than saying we could do it like this, but I don't know what. From what
Yeah.
you've described, I'm not sure what benefit we get out of having a stronghold by having it be a sentient thing. So let's just talk about what we expect this base that we're going to build to be. For me, it was going to be a place to recruit and train plebs so that we could bring them with us to fight larger battles. And that's
Yeah.
pretty much it. I don't see it being a business. I don't see it being like serving food or alcohol. I'm not turning it into a pub. You know, I just literally, it's just like a place to recruit and train and grow numbers. And if the mechanic to support that is like, how many did you recruit this week? Roll a d20.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking along very similar lines. Like the main purpose of the stronghold would be recruitment and training. So I think in a given faction turn or stronghold turn, you could either roll to recruit more, recruit a larger number of people, or you could roll to level up your existing cohort or whatever you have. Perhaps if you really wanted to get into the meta, you could subdivide your cohort into, footmen, magic users, as very broad archetypes. You could explore those kinds of ideas.
and sexy arcane research.
Yes, that would be a possibility as well.
Also
But then
undead
I'm
army.
being able to do one of these actions per turn, and how often these turns will happen, maybe at the start of every session, I don't really know.
It
Whether
needs to be
we
like a week's worth of game time. So think about it in terms of like the faction turn from Stars Without Number.
yeah.
You kind of, I mean, that's spanned over a month of game time, which is not, I mean, we don't have months to play with in Grim Dawn. We've barely gotten through, I think, 3 game days so
It's
far.
probably been about 2 or 3 game days.
So, yeah. So look, I'd say let's not get into the detail now. Let's maybe do some async catch up on that in Discord and maybe a Google Doc or something like that where we outline how that's going to work and then come back to that. But I think there's no urgency to figure it out today for today's session.
No, I mean, it's
Considering
unlikely.
We're about to slay these bandits at the gate near this farm, man.
Oh, plus slammer. Oh my
Well,
god.
yeah, look,
Hey, I know this. There's a cool stronghold I know back in town. They've got shiny badges.
oh gosh. Yeah, cool. Anyway, it was good to hash that out just a little bit. Yeah, it's unlikely we'll be able to interact with it in any sort of meaningful way in today's session. So yeah, not a big deal, but just good to have a little bit of face-to-face time sort of thinking about how that might look. So
first time.
that's
Are we
cool.
in roll 20 though?
Yes, sir, Fernie. Whoa. Listen. So to set the scene, if we just do a brief recap of where we ended up, following the last major event of the party, you accepted another job from Peacekeeper Vincent to head southeast from Darkvale towards a place called Graver's Mill, where there was a bit of an issue with getting... Basically, this trade route had completely dried up. All their supplies and food and water not water, that's stupid, all their supplies and food and other things that they need, repair equipment, blah, blah, blah. A lot of it comes through this trade route, which was being completely stifled by something, and the Peacekeeper wanted you to check that out. So you headed down to the mill, which is kind of like farmland / a lumber mill, etc. And it kind of is the gateway to lands further south, most immediately the Blood Grove. So as you arrived with your cart and 2 additional allies, I can't even read my dang handwriting. Askins and Lloyd, your 2 buddies, buddies from Darkvale. You arrived in the mill and you found it kind of essentially turned into a bit of a shanty town for the refugees and the refugees coming from the north specifically, who had been traveling through Darkvale from the Empire capital and so forth. You had a bit of a chat to one of them and found out that this shanty town is kind of formed because no one can get any further south because some jerkwads had blocked the route further south.
Goddamn jerkwads, always getting in the way.
Just to confirm, all of these refugees that are camping out at this farm and stuff, they want to go even further south, but no one's willing to like pay these levies and taxes and tolls or whatever that these bandits with shiny swords are laying down. Exactly, yeah. So there's this tough presence at this kind of ramshackle sort of barricade to the south, kind of just behind the farmhouse that resides over the land here. Yep. And you guys have brought your cart up to this entry / exit with the Blood Grove sort of as the backdrop to this scene. These beautiful dark trees with these crimson leaves, a few of them falling off the trees and kind of drifting under your feet with the wind. And it's kind of this slightly tense standoff with a couple of burly looking guardsmen who are holding the gate down. Okay, and so there was a conversation that we were having right when we sort of hung the cliff last session. Yeah. So I think what that was? I think it was Bracho and Jeb were being the face of this conversation, so to speak. And Gerard, you were hiding in the back with? That's right. And I can't remember, were you guys covered or were you just kind of tucked away? I really can't recall.
I thought you were covered by a burlap sack.
Yeah, I think there was some attempt at.
Isn't me? Retcon. Rip.
Look. Well, due to lack of specificity, I mean, we could say that there was some attempt to. If you wanted to have done that, that would be okay. If you wanted to, I think if I remember correctly, there was 2 to 3 bandits, guardsmen who didn't necessarily look like bandits straight up, but were obviously acting it, and they had some southern or western British accent or something. I can't remember. Yeah, it was something along those lines, wasn't it? I wouldn't put it to any sort of specific geographic location because I won't be able to adhere to it. So they had some melting pot of British accent. All right. Yeah. What sounds slightly clueless and not quite with it in the grey matter department.
No, right. just say that they all went to Michael Caine's acting school. Like Michael Caine, and none of them blink.
Yes. And so one of them was making his way around the back of the cart as we had as we hung the cliff last time. Yeah, correct. Yeah, you had bamboozled the one you were talking to with some fancy talk. I can't remember. It was something like exotic goods or Vandelay Industries.
Yeah.
It was like exotic knickknacks or something like that. You were throwing a few words around and trying.
Novelty. Yeah. No, that's what it was.
That's right. Novelty items. That's what it was. Yeah. And this poor guy had no idea. He was thoroughly confused by your fancy words.
Well, it's a novelty. Yeah. And then I think you tried to explain the novelty was that there was nothing in the cart and you were import export, all this business talk, bamboozlement.
Yeah. Fiduciary.
So we left off with him bellowing Dravko in some indistinct direction, presumably summoning his either a buddy or boss or, someone who might be running the show around here. So that's where we are.
So are we saying that we're in the cart and there's two guards talking to us? Like what's the current thing, GM?
So there'd be sort of, I guess, Bracho and Jeb somewhere near the front of the cart, maybe standing alongside.
I know where we are. I'm more concerned about what are they doing and whose turn is it to talk.
So I imagine you facing outwards, talking to a guard facing you, the two of you, and another guard sort of slowly just walking left and right, just having a look at the cart, if there's any markings or whatever have you that give away where it's from and so forth. And they're kind of just staring and observing while they wait for Dravko to turn up.
On a different note regarding Twitch chat, my audio should be fixed now. Let me know if it's not, please.
Probably a good thing, apparently. Sick burn.
So we're kind of just like, you got these two guys who are sort of like calling for their other guy from behind them to come over, and our bamboozlement hasn't worked and they still want to like suss us out whether or not they're going to let us through, basically.
Well, they're kind of done with you because you've confused them, right? They need help deciphering and unpacking what it is you guys are actually doing here, because these guys haven't got it all together upstairs quite clearly. So they're kind of just standing guarding you until someone else comes to help.
So whilst these guys are standing guard, Bracho will with his staff, like old guy with his staff, leans out and like taps one of the nearest guard on the hilt of his sword, saying, What are you young whippersnappers doing here, holding up all of these fine people from moving south? What do you even care?
Well, there's coin to be made, isn't it? I mean, we stand here and people can't go through that way until they give us a little sack of money. And then when everything's square, we lift their piece of wood, and then we get a little cut of the gold what Dravko takes.
Right, but why does Dravko? Why was he saving up for, eh? What's all the coin for? He's got some master plan. Is he going to try and buy the farm?
They chose a bloody...
You're one of the bandits now.
I was going to say, he's a real accent chameleon, this one.
Yeah. He's got streetwise, or he has
picks up what's on him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He probably wants some of them fancy knickknacks what you was talking about earlier.
So whilst he's got the guard rambling some sort of mumbling some nonsense and stuff, Bracho's gonna do like a not very subtle, just like look around the field beyond and just try and get a sense of like how many guards there are in total, like back there, and also get a sense of all of their weapons and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sure. Probably a notice roll would be in order, I would imagine.
Okay. Any modifier from my high ground on the cart?
Yeah, nice try, bro. Nah, look, you can roll this as is.
Flat. Okay.
Give us a flat roll. You're good at noticing stuff anyway.
11.
I am, sure am. So I've got 2 raises on that.
Nice.
No, I got 1 raise.
1 raise.
Almost 2 raises.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
one
almost a
raise
second
and a
raise.
3, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, we're getting it.
You clearly get the sense that these guys are the muscle of the operation, being not too bright otherwise. They both appear to be equipped in the same way. Neither has a shield. Both just have very large swords. And even given your lack of military knowledge, you'd know that you probably require, even guys this size probably need 2 hands to swing them. They're pretty hefty looking. You get the sense of, I guess there's this almost separate little shanty kind of situation, separate from where all the refugees are settled. A bit of a ramshackle operation going on. There's some very basic shelters and fire pits that have been laid out. Just the other side of the fence, so on the south side, that's being protected by this outfit.
Yeah.
But you have that that feeling of emptiness. When you're in a big space, but you can quite obviously tell there's not much around. So besides these guys and maybe the boss and a couple of other lackeys, there's not much else of a presence around here just at the moment.
So there's the two guards at the fence, and they've
Yep.
called for one of their mates, Dravko, from the ramshackle shelters.
Yep.
And he's sort of has he appeared yet? Is he walking across the field up to the gate, or is
Now's
he?
probably a good time where he's behind. So he's on the other side of the gate, and you probably just see at that point there's probably a nice tent that's his, and you see it like one of the corners flip back, and this slightly more well-to-do version of these guys appears and starts strolling towards you. He's probably settled in the trees, maybe 50, 60 meters back from the fence, and he's just starting to make his way towards you now.
Okay, and this path that we're trying to follow, which has come past the farm, and there's like a crowd of refugees around us and stuff, right?
It's kind of thinned out by the time you get to where you are right now, because you're kind of at the precipice of the fence, more or less, and the refugees aren't particularly keen on venturing that close to their captors, essentially.
And we've got two, the bandits that cause trouble. And I'm sure that during the night they come in and rouse the refugees and plunder the women and all that nasty shit, right?
Oh yeah, look, they remind them who's in charge, and that all they need to do is pay the fee, pay the tariff, and they're welcome to come through.
Yeah, and so the question I had was that path that goes into the south field. Does that go past the ramshackle houses? Do you have like a mappy sort of vibe, or is it more like that? There's no path from beyond this gate. It's more like into the wilderness sort of thing.
There is a bit of a path that kind of cuts through the grove. Like it goes further south, and that looks somewhat used. It's not completely abandoned or anything like that, but there is an established path you can see after this gate that winds further south.
Is there any debris of old carts and stuff littering around the other side of the gate? Is there any evidence of like massive fights or anything like that?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, and I probably should have mentioned that. There is a pretty clear sense of there's one or two carts that look abandoned. Really, the whole bandit camp, we'll call it for lack of a better term, looks a little quiet right now, but there is a bit of a collection going on of a variety of crates and boxes. What are they called? Big things of cloth. There's a word for them, like big windings of cloth, all that sort of stuff. I can't remember what they're called. It's gonna shit me.
Reels?
Reams?
Yeah, they have it. Look, anyway, it's not important, but there's just a collection of a variety of accoutrements and supplies that would look particularly useful to a small village that have been just sort of. It looks like an accumulation over weeks, if not maybe a month or two.
Okay, so and you're saying that from the forest line, not from the huts, is where this Dravko character is walking from.
Yeah, so they've established their little encampment just on the other side, the southern side of the fence. They're not on the property specifically.
That's right.
Yeah.
But so as Dravko's like walking across the field, Bracho turns.
Bolts of cloth. Thank you.
Thanks, Az.
That's what I said.
Oh, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
This guy.
Yeah. So Bracho turns to Jebediah and sort of like nudges him with his elbow and leans back a little bit to like speak up so the people in the back of the cart can hear. And he just says, "Oh, this time of year, it's it's pretty much wasp season, isn't it?" Hashtag foreshadowing.
I wouldn't rightly know, sir.
If the guys were more perceptive, they'd notice the burlap sacks just slowly shaking their head.
Right. Do we have 2 horses or 1?
Whatever was needed to pull a cart this size. I feel like 2 horses.
I think
Yeah.
it was 2.
We'll say 2. I never specified. Enough to carry like a.
All right. So I got this. There we go.
Classic.
So,
Yeah, that looks about right.
So there's the bandit camp. There's this grove. Oh, where am I? The grove of trees over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so hard to do this mirrored. And and there's our horse and cart and stuff. There, those 2 dots of the guards that are there,
Yep.
and there's like a dotted line of a dude coming across. Okay, cool. All right. So there doesn't look like, I mean, just table talk, guys. There doesn't look like there's much we can leverage nearby for like attacking these guys or anything. If anything, they've got the upper hand with things to hide behind in terms of defense and stuff like that. They don't have ranged weapons. Dravko is going to come over and have a chat, and I get a feeling that we're probably not going to get by without our novelty shtick.
Probably.
Look, no ranged weapons means the win for us.
To a point, I'd actually agree. I'm assuming Lloyd and Askins are only armed with swords, much like myself.
They've got swords and pistols.
Okay.
They're kind of, all-round trained footmen, sort of thing.
Useful.
So Dravko, probably being a boss dude, will probably have some ranged weapon though. Yeah, but that's an assumption.
Maybe not.
He is approaching, and he's hauled. At least he's managed to find someone else bumming around the camp. So now he's coming up. He's kind of made a little detour off behind one of the other little lean-tos, I suppose, and he's got Dravko with just sort of strolling, making their way up. They're almost within earshot by now. The other guard who's kind of just hanging around, he's going to make a notice roll because he kind of just does a really lazy circuit of the of your cart. Kind of has a bit of a peek out the back, and he goes, "I can't see no bloody knickknacks." And then he comes back to the front just to stand next to his buddy. And at that point, Dravko and his 2IC reach the edge of the fence, and they kind of just go and do that. They kind of hop over, just in a nice fluid movement. And ostensibly, Dravko steps forth. He's dressed he's a little cleaner looking, nice pistol on his belt. He almost looks a little well-to-do as far as this outfit's concerned. Well-kempt beard, hair neatly tied back in a slicked back ponytail.
Wait, is he a hipster?
He's making me a coffee.
He's a little bit of a hipster. And
smashed
he kind of
eggs.
He looks down his nose at the 3 of you, or the 2 of you, a little bit, keeping his distance. He just hops the fence and kind of leans there, and he says, "Well, what have we got here then?" And the guard who you've been conversing with says, "Oh, hello, Dravko. We've got these ones are shipping some knickknacks I thought you might like to buy. They want to get south, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to see these knickknacks first." Knickknacks. I see.
Upon this, Bradshaw just sort of like rests his staff on the ground, sort of, or somewhere on the back of the coach, and just sort of puts his head on the end of it and just looks over at Jebediah like, "Go on, talk your way out of this one," he says in his eyes.
Novelty items is what I said. Import. Export.
Oh, that's right. It was novelty items. I see. And you wish to ship these further south by the looks of it. Is that right?
That is right, sir. Very much south.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, we charge a modest fee, of course, just to let you and your comrades through the gate. I think you'll find it quite reasonable. And of course, a cut of anything that you might be shipping. we have to take a slice, as it were. I'm sure you understand, eh? Eh?
Well, what was it? What was it? Dravel, was it? I'd like to introduce you to a couple of friends of mine. What did you say? Was it reasonable? Was it?
Who's reasonable?
What did you say? There were two. God damn it! I'm too tired for this to make funny puns and jokes. Anyway, I say, look, I'd like to introduce you to a couple of friends of mine. Modest and reasonable.
Lovely.
Are you threatening me, sir? I don't take well to threats.
I don't make threats. I make promises.
And with that, Bracho Bracho taps his staff on the coach on the cart thing a few times, like hey. He says, you young folks just want to spill blood just to prove your worth. No, we don't need to spill blood here. Well, he's totally taking on the accent to like make them feel at home, right? Because he's a good persuader, right? That's his thing. And so he says, look, you fine folk are probably after a cut of something that we haven't got just yet. What we're doing is going to collect an order and come back. That's when you get your cut. Simple, easy. Let us through now. And
Listen.
Do you want a persuasion roll?
What exactly are you trying to persuade him of? That you shouldn't have to hand over your slice of the goods because you don't have any supplies yet, essentially?
Yeah, we're going to collect some goods, and when we come back, that's when you can get the slice.
Get the taste.
Get the taste of what we've got to offer.
I think you should make a persuade roll.
Is there any modifier on this one?
Given the tension right now, I'm not really sure.
Wow, that's Twitch chat. For those of you watching the YouTube stream who don't see the Twitch, Sideshow Paradox has suggested that Bracho has pissed more blood than they have spilled. It's probably true. He's an old geezer.
And I'm pretty sure you could pick the exact moment Jeb and I read it.
I'm thinking you want to throw me a modifier. You're scratching your chin on my persuasion roll.
No, I'm looking up the persuasion table. It was inconsequential to how things worked out last time, but you actually roll to increase an NPC's disposition towards you.
All right.
So it wouldn't have mattered last time because Peacekeeper Vincent was already really buddy with you. So essentially, there's a table of hostile through to helpful, and there's a variety of things in between. So, make your persuade roll, and then we'll see how far, how good Dravko feels about you.
It's a basic pass 4.
So that's a success. So I would say the table goes hostile, uncooperative, neutral, friendly, or helpful. I would say probably, given the little chat between Jeb and Dravko just now, he was probably hostile. So now he's moved up a tier and is just uncooperative. So, look, that's not really how we do things around here. If you genuinely are importing goods and you need to go pick them up, that's fair enough. But I can't let you through without paying the tariff.
What is a tariff, young man?
He scratches his chin, stroking his beard, because that's how you think about things.
Apparently.
And he says, Well, look, it varies from person to person, if I'm quite honest. But since I like you lot, let's call it 100 gold apiece.
A piece.
A piece. So each.
A person, that's right. There's only 2 of you. It's not too much to ask, in my opinion.
So, how many have we counted now? That's Dravko came over with 1, and there were 2 guards on the gate, right?
That's 4 in total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I obviously wouldn't know that.
You would have heard.
I would have heard at least 3 voices.
Yeah.
Make a notice to roll, Gerard.
Cool. I was hoping you'd say that.
Make it a -2.
Oh, Caligula.
You're in the back of a cart covered in sacks.
I don't care. I'm a very noticeable person.
But I've heard that about him.
I made a 2.
Is that
Okay.
your new thing?
There's somewhere between 2 and 17 people outside.
Hot damn.
Look,
Hey,
Gerard.
It's the noise, though, right? There's refugee noise and people walking.
Yeah, I
and
know.
conversing, and you're just a bit all swept up in the noise and the moment.
Gerard would be hedging his bets at this point, knowing he's got 2 trained guards with him. So, after hearing the explanation, he would probably
course.
pop up from his burlap sack
Yeah, he would.
after motioning from Lloyd and Askins to get up and go and pointing his rapier at Dravko, or the one he thinks is Dravko. He would say, "Is this worth 100 pieces of gold?"
So you emerge and come out and then around to the front of the cart,
No, I'd be standing in the back of the cart.
where you kind of poke. Do you poke your head around, or
Well, my understanding was that sort of the cart would only be sort of knee height if I was standing in the cart.
okay? Yeah, I imagined it with like a canvas over the top.
oh yeah, I was picturing an open card as well.
I
Okay,
had
we'll
an
go-
open card too.
We'll go open cart then. I had canvas in my head, but open cart's fine. So you kind of just like whoosh from outside, like from under one of the sacks, and turn
Yeah.
around.
Yep, and I would have motioned to Lloyd and Askins to have both their pistol and their sword at the ready.
Okay. So you
So-
guys kind of have like a Charlie's Angels thing going on. Looking at Askins, like,
Pretty
back to
much,
back,
yeah.
Looking around and letting their eyes adjust to the light,
Yeah,
and looking to try to get an idea of numbers around them.
yeah. Yeah, so they'd have... The way I pictured it is that I'd have my rapier drawn, and Lloyd and Askins would both have their pistols at the ready and their hands on their hilt of their swords.
Yep. Cool. That's
All
fair
right.
enough.
So the moment that happens, as soon as Gerard has had his one-liner and whatnot, Jeb goes, "It's about time," and just without hesitation pulls out his pistol and aims at Dravko right between the eyes.
I assume you don't pull a trigger though.
Yeah, sorry. I should specify. That's what I'm doing.
Well, if you're becoming openly hostile, we should probably now move into an initiative order. You definitely don't have
I didn't get the first shot?
an ambush on your hands.
Fine.
No, definitely.
Don't
If you
pull the
roll,
trigger.
All right, I'll point it then.
if you get lucky on the initiative order, then yeah, you can still shoot first. Make no mistake.
It's not worth it.
So you're not
You're not
I'm
pulling
trying
the
to
weapon?
solo it, and I don't want to risk the embarrassment.
okay. Fair enough.
Are you pulling a weapon though?
Yeah.
I
you
would
want-
suggest that you summon Lauren as well, but that's just me.
It's gonna take a turn though.
Yeah.
True.
It's probably
I forgot
not a
about
ready.
that.
It's,
I'll wait
It's
for
not
the
a re-
initiative order.
Yeah,
I was gonna say it's not a readying action.
Yeah.
It's more of a thing.
that's fair. Because I feel like that arcaneness would scare them a little bit.
Look, I could have taken a different route and tried to intimidate them, but what's done is done now. We're not saves coming.
That's true.
What did you keep referring to this stuff as? I still have knickknacks in my head.
Novelty
items.
Novelty.
Write it down.
I am.
Hey, I was the novelty item.
It's all just for the Cockney gag, right? Because you burst out, and one of the guards goes, "Those aren't novelty items."
Very, very well perceived, good sir.
That's excellent.
And he says, so Dravko kind of, he looks fairly unmoved by all of this, right? He doesn't really break gaze, he doesn't flinch at what happens. He kind of just looks up to you, Gerard, and then you see his hand slink to, you see his gun at his side, but his hand goes further behind, and you hear just a little clink, and then he brings his hand forward and he's hefting a grenade.
Oh, fuck.
And he says, I don't know, mate. Is this worth your 100 gold?
So has he pulled the pin?
No, it's just like he heard like rustling clinks from behind him, and then he pulls it out. It still seems to have the pin in it. He hasn't gone that far yet, but he says, "Yeah, is this worth your 100 gold, mate?"
Keep in mind, you're so close, that'll take you out too.
Mate, I've got plenty of rooms to run behind me.
Listen.
What was that? Sorry.
Can I shoot him yet?
If someone wants to be openly hostile, we can enter initiative.
So they're not being
Yes.
openly hostile when we pull weapons on them.
Well, it's kind of like it's a bit of a Mexican standoff right now.
Mexican standoff.
Because
All right. Okay. No, go on, Gerard. Say what you were going to say. But...
I was just going to say, because yes, we've drawn weapons, but we haven't actually said, hey, we're going to hit you now.
Yeah. If someone's squeezing the trigger on their gun, that's like, we go into initiative, but it's like that instant where that flip has switched in someone's mind to, yes, I'm going to attack. But it's in that instant where your enemies will react to what you do. So they'll dive for cover, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Can I roll a fear?
Isn't that an action still? Like that's a trapping. You got to do a thing and fear someone.
Do I though?
Pretty
Like,
sure.
it's up to the Grim Master.
Oh, I should have rolled an intimidation when I got up.
Yeah. Well, sorry. Hang on. Let me have a look. I think I have intimidation.
I do.
Yeah. All right. Can I do it under the guise of intimidation then?
you can give it that flavor, yeah.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, go.
Go on.
I've always thought of this.
Sorry, I'm a bit confused. Rolling for the sake of rolling is one thing, but what's the actual description of what's happening?
Well, I imagine if it's successful, then I'll explain it. Is that not how it works? Or am I thinking combat rules?
What's your thinking of what are you trying to intimidate? What's the action that's causing the intimidation? I think is.
I gotcha. Look, I'm thinking combat rules, and that's fine. I like your idea of summoning Lauren to freak him out. So, I was thinking summoning her from the hand that's holding the pistol.
Yeah.
At his head, and like having her kind of
peck at his head.
Crawl out from under my sleeve, and in a very unraven like maneuver, like crawl along the barrel of the pistol and like shriek at him.
Okay, so she's still only sort of semi-formed as opposed to fully summoned because she doesn't have a full form yet. Is that because that's how I'm picturing
it's sort of a little bit cloudy and wispy.
Yeah. Okay. That's scare the shit out of me if it works.
So you're trying to intimidate Dravko here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or is fear an area, or is intimidate an area of effect kind of a thing? He's trying to intimidate everyone.
No, I don't think
I think it really only matters if he intimidates Dravko, we get through. If he doesn't, we don't get through.
I don't know if it's a get through as the result. I think it's if he was intimidated as the result. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's.
I would assume the goal of intimidating is to get through without having to fight or pay a toll.
Listen.
Well, look, there's shades of grey in there, right?
Well, that's the black and white option.
Though?
I think from a like meta talk, table talk perspective, they're not gonna like this is not trying to steer anything that Kluger's got planned or anything like that, but I don't think these guys are gonna like just let us go through, considering they've had such a lucrative business doing this already. If anything, they're just gonna start fighting us. So we either find out from them what it is that they need that we can bring to them that's not money, but it doesn't.
I mean, we have money. We can just pay them.
How much money have we got?
I personally have 450.
How much money have I got? I have 440. Apparently.
There you go. I mean,
Also,
money is not. We're not strapped for cash here. We're
Cost us
being
500 now,
cheap.
and we've pulled weapons, and he's going to triple it. So
Did we split what was in the chest, or did we give that all to one person? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I picked up 300 GP from the chest.
Okay, because I think there was a total of. Yeah, that's all of it then.
Yeah, that was all of it.
Yeah.
300.
So, I mean, that said, it's now 500, but we've missed the chance to pay for it because we've drawn weapons and gone that.
It's a little beyond that. Also bearing in mind, merely paying the tariff isn't necessarily your goal here.
Yeah, we went to unblock this thing, so paying the tariff is completely against
Gerard,
what we're trying to do.
We don't know if this is the only thing blocking this path either. This is just one thing, the first thing we've stumbled across on this path.
That's true,
So,
but regardless, from this point of view, it's the reason trade routes have stopped. From this point of view,
So
paying a tariff would be completely counterintuitive and not achieve anything because we wouldn't scare them away. We wouldn't get rid of them.
yeah. So what are we debating here?
So I was just trying to say, like, we're escalating towards a fight, and then we're trying to use roles to not have a fight. I guess what I'm saying is, like, whether you intimidate or whether you do any of these other skills and stuff like that, what is the outcome you're expecting? Because they're not going to just let us through, is all I'm saying.
That's right. So it's assuming, like Steven said, if our characters are assuming that this is the roadblock at this point and we want to get rid of it, then the only way that's going to happen is, in my mind at least, is if we kill them or
Arrest them.
In this,
Or get rid of them in some way.
Get rid of them by force.
Yeah.
Or in this case, we do something like intimidate them to the point that it's like they're so scared that they shut up shop. Now, I admit that's probably
highly unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Yeah.
All right, but okay,
But I'm gonna
that's cool.
try.
That knowledge has now made me feel a lot happier about what's happening because I was just getting lost on we're rolling for the sake of rolling.
As I said, with when I popped up, I probably should have suggested that I do an intimidation roll because that was like the point of me popping up.
Yeah.
But
the surprise pop up.
Yeah.
Now,
Alright.
hold on. Can we maybe? Oh god, was it Savage Worlds where we did supporting roles? So like you guys can roll.
Oh, that's true.
to
I can.
boost my intimidate.
Pretty sure that was this one. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Do we want to do that?
Yeah.
Because,
I'll
if
support
we're- if
you
we're
in that.
all- If at least Jeb and Gerard are kind of gearing up to pew pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind of combining and intimidate here.
There would most definitely have to be like cause for helping. Bracho can't just help intimidate because he happens to be there in this case.
Yeah.
So yeah, Gerard, you could make an intimidation assisted roll.
Yeah. So I go first or Jeb goes first?
You go first.
Yeah.
Yes, the plays.
So I
Well,
just
See, I do RPGs.
so I just roll a straight intimidation, don't I?
Yeah.
Or I've rolled a 7.
So that gives
not bad.
Jeb a +1 modifier.
Nearly gave you a +2. Nearly.
So that's all. I'm just the one.
Well, +1 from them. I'm trying to decide how much of a negative effect you have from this situation.
Mhm.
Bear with me just a sec.
Yeah.
I'm just refreshing on the fear rules because they are a little bit all over the shop.
Yeah.
So, power causes blah blah blah. The area affects a large burst. Every creature beneath the template must make a fear check.
Is it fear though, or is it
He's doing an
different 'cause it's
intimidate.
intimidation.
He's doing an intimidate check though. That's his intention here.
Okay. Right. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
getting caught up in the whole idea
The
of
whole
your
fear.
skills.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So he'd just be rolling against something, wouldn't he?
I think intimidation still rolls against something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, make the intimidation roll. Oh gosh, I'm trying to just. There's definitely going to be a negative modifier here. Mate.
Well, it's probably
Make
just
your-
going to be. Oh, sorry.
Make your total modifier minus. So you got a +1 from Gerard, so make your total modifier -3.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Jesus, these guys are fucking staunch.
Bear in mind you're a wild card, right? -3 sounds real brutal, but you've got an extra die that could easily bail you out.
Okay. I'm good.
So,
5.
okay, so that's a target for them, I think.
Not bad. Not bad with a -3.
I will bring up skills.
Listen, mate.
Intimidation is the art of frightening an opponent, blah, blah, blah. And here is
I'll roll my way
intimidation
out of
and
any
his
situation.
opponent's spirit. Okay, so I figure you're targeting this at Dravko, who's the
That's
boss
right.
of this operation, right?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to roll his spirit
Oh, spirit.
in opposition to your shit. Here it comes. Oh, dang.
Ooh.
Is that good?
No, not for him.
He's going to have one more try because he's a wild card.
Damn.
He can re-roll.
Does he take the lower of the? Does he take the second one regardless?
It's a
Or-
re-roll. There you go.
Listen, mate.
Damn. What's
Can I
this
re-roll
GM?
too?
Yeah, what's this GM hackery?
Mate, I'm just playing by the rules. So how does this go down, Jeb? What's your
What's the outcome? The outcome's a fail.
a narrow fail? You might unsettle Dravko a little bit, to be honest, but what how do you approach this, Jeb? What's your intimidatory approach? If I can coin the phrase.
Well, I mean, I explained the Lauren coming out of my
The
sleeve and
semi-summon.
Right. Thank you for refreshing my memory. I've had very little time to refresh my brain before running this, so apologies if I seem a little spaced out.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
So this whole thing kind of happens. Lauren kind of, I imagine, coming out of your sleeve and then kind of slinking her way out. Does she make a beeline for Dravko specifically, or just kind of fly around and?
No. She crawls because I'm just trying to intimidate him. I'm not trying to attack him. So she crawls unbird-like along the barrel of the gun.
Unbird-like, so she kind of looks really.
I'm thinking more like
on
almost
all
like a
fours with her wings.
yeah, like a
It's fucked up.
bat using the claws of their wings to crawl
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
That's gross.
Right?
Yeah. Do you want to re-roll that spirit test?
A little bit.
Look.
Listen,
Look.
look.
So you probably see it in Dravko's face for just a little while. Like for a split second, he actually is unsettled by this. Maybe his weight shifts on his feet, and his eyes widen just a little bit, and then he kind of settles back down, and he says, "You've had some study in the arts, then, have you?"
Lauren just squawks at him again.
And he's holding his gaze with you, Jeb, and he says, "Well, you might not be the only one who knows a little something something." And you swear you just see a little halo, this little orange, crimsony, yellowy glow just around, just like ever so faintly, just around his hand.
Shit.
Just starting to hum.
Shit.
And he crouches slightly, and he's looking on edge.
So,
So
is
maybe
this
you're
the
intimi-
hand that's holding the grenade?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's maybe the result of the near intimidation, that it's almost like a fight or flight instinct has activated just a touch, and he's feeling a bit.
He's gonna magic it into a holy hand grenade.
He has that ability, maybe, kind of, sorta.
Oh fuck.
Thou shall count to 3. 4 is too much.
And so
5 is right out. Sorry, go on.
and so he's trying to hold it together, and
It's at this
you
time
can
that I
hear-
would like to activate the psychic link I have with Bracho. Go ahead.
Oh god, classic.
Yeah, we
I
have one
feel
of those.
I feel like Jeb's psychic link though would be for, I don't know how familiar you are, just slightly off topic, but with How I Met Your Mother, when Barney and
Yes.
Ted are running the bar, and Ted's trying to have a serious conversation, but all Barney hear is Kahuna, Jamaica, ooh, I wanna take you to Bermuda, Bahama. Because I feel like that's the sort of message Jeb would have, and Bracho would be trying to talk normally.
Yeah. but Jeb's would be a very stereotypical evil laugh.
Just so
And,
long as I'm understanding this cyclic link, that's the main thing.
Oh my gosh. So, you can almost hear the quaver in his voice, right? He's sounding a little on edge, and he says, "So, you gonna pay up, or are we just gonna get to it then?"
What is this, a date?
It is just a little bit.
Bracho just leans forward on his staff again and says, "Wasps." And he and he starts to conjure his wasps. Do it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's fight.
All right, hang on.
Bracho is starting the fight.
If I may, just before you start conjuring your wasps, Jeb goes, "Why, yes, Bracho, I do believe it is wasp season."
Ooh.
Nice.
Listen, mate.
Alright. So
That's actually where I need another. I just need another dude for.
Wild card
guy.
Dravko.
Have we settled that Lauren is also having their own individual turn once she's summoned, if she's summoned?
Lauren will act on Jeb's turn once summoned, and Jeb, you're in charge of Lauren.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So she does what you tell her to do. You command her to do a thing.
Yeah. But we settled that if he doesn't command her that turn, she just continues doing that thing, right?
Well, it's compulsory now. So he actually, Jeb actually has to tell Lauren what to do every turn. It's like an extra action that Jeb has in a way.
But I imagine,
Okay.
just to clarify,
So
if I pull her out and start commanding her, and
Yeah.
then one turn I decide, yeah, actually I want to shoot someone in the face, I
You
can't.
can always do no. So you
so
summon
he essentially
Lauren.
has 2 turns a turn, almost, if one turn is Lauren?
Yeah, you can think of it that way. So you have to spend a turn to summon Lauren. And after that, you Jebediah act, and you can take an action, cast another spell, shoot your gun, intimidate, whatever. And then Lauren is her own entity in the fight, but you, on your turn, just also instruct her what to do.
Okay.
That's OP. Do not nerf.
Look, it's not. I wouldn't go that far. Where did my token go?
I think it should definitely help minimize issues, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's how it's actually meant to occur.
Okay.
Why aren't any of my tokens adding to this map?
If that's the case, good on them Savage Worlds designers. Because it sounds like it makes it a lot easier.
This is, there, finally I got one. They were lagging like.
Whoa!
Look, it's fine.
He's massive.
I don't even need the icon. The icon doesn't matter. I just need to be able to go put him in the turn order.
Listen,
So sorry about that. Where is he? Dravko the Torch.
Dravko the Torch. I don't like
Add
that name.
turn. It's a pretty badass name, huh?
look, I think it's
It's
a
better
little bit
than
of an
Dopey
insight
Guard.
as to what we can expect from him in terms of the arcane.
Yeah, total giveaway there. Ba-boom.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not mad.
That's what Grim Dawn is, though. All the names are
That's It's
giveaways.
his nickname, bro. All right, so here we go. Deal 1 card to to deal to turn order items.
Ah, plus.
Where you're in a turn order by card
Oh my
suit.
god.
Oh,
No!
well. Did
Fuck.
you guys see the order?
Yeah.
Cool.
100%.
So if I don't know if the stream can or if the VODers can see it, but at the moment it's Dravko's up top, then Bracho, then Gerard, then all the baddies, then Jeb.
Yeah.
Fucking
Are
ouch.
Lloyd and Askins involved in this anyway?
Thank you for reminding me. They most definitely are.
Reroll.
So reroll turn order with Jeb at the top.
Dreaming, mate.
Or you just slip them in because they're army people. They are a bit like Lauren with me.
Oh yeah, that could be interesting.
Could make it a bit easier.
He just wants his own Lauren, mate.
2 of them specifically.
OP. Please,
But
Nerf.
that probably won't actually work
No,
game-wise.
I'll put them in the turn order.
Yeah. Because they are their own beings.
And look, because I feel bad because I forgot. I'll put them after you, Gerard. I'm not going to penalize them by putting them right at the bottom.
Yeah, right.
That's a bit shit. So they're
Well,
just after
reroll.
you. But this
And put
time,
me at the top.
Mate,
If
it
you
looks like
re-roll, it'll end up being Dravko, all the other bad guys, and you'll still be at the
Kluger, mate.
bottom.
yeah.
the token I'm seeing in the turn order doesn't look like it. Looks like there's 2 Dravkos in the list.
That yeah.
Oh,
same
what the
for me.
hell? How did I do that? Thank
Because
you.
you're special, mate.
So you need to add turn. There we go. The good guys.
That's better.
Ah,
Cool. As is saying that the turn order can be seen in the stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. So
I meant to mention I positioned it intentionally, but yeah, all good.
Good mentioning it.
solid. So it seems we're on like Donkey Kong.
Yes. Let it be on.
Bam. So I'm just checking. I've got this shit organized, kind of, sort of. Very good. So Dravko begins the fight. He actually tosses the grenade over to his left hand and pulls his gun from its holster. And who's he mad at? I think he's probably mad at Jeb, TBH. Given the threats you're slinging.
How
his
far
way.
away are these guys?
Yeah, that's important, especially for me.
Fair call. You've come up towards the fence. He's just on the kind of inside of it. You would have parked a little ways back. I'm feeling like 20 meters, 25 meters. Yeah, that kind of... No, 20 meters, I would say.
Is that
Maybe
all
a
of them
little
or just Dravko?
So Dravko and his buddy are probably about 20 meters away. And then you've got the 2 guards, the like brute guards who are, walking this like a few paces away. They're not far away at all.
Oh, because they were inspecting the cart, that's right.
They were inspecting the cart and talking to you. They kind of stayed put where they were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Very
Right.
good then, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, here we go. I don't think there's a penalty for firing at this distance from memory.
Ah,
I think it depends on what he's using.
Oh my god.
I could be thinking of
range.
Swin.
Short, medium, long. I think it's within short distance with a pistol. So, yeah, he's got a revolver. So he's going to fire his revolver. Coming your way, Jeb.
Duck and
Real
weave,
hot,
duck and
sort of
weave.
like. Where's his skill? So he's a wild card, so he can actually just do this. I don't have to mess around.
No.
So he makes a success with a raise. Hot dang. So now we've got to roll damage.
Ah, damage.
My favorite damage. But you roll in opposition to this in just a moment. It's an attack roll.
Oh, shit.
Look.
That just... Look,
Rip.
that's
Holy
not... No, you're not dead. That was just
Listen.
a massive exploding roll.
Look.
You think?
Rip. That's it. It's fine. Rip. Lauren will mourn my corpse.
I'm just checking what you roll in opposition. There's a chance you can overcome this because of exploding die.
Which pistol is he? Is he got a flintlock?
That was just 2d6 plus 1, but because he's a wild card, he gets exploding dice.
On damage.
Yeah, so do you guys. But now, Jeb, now I will be nice because we're still new at this game. You have bennies to spend. This will likely shake you. So if you fail the roll, you can most definitely, of course, spend a benny to overcome that. So I'm just bringing up my little work. Whoops, that's the wrong thing.
Plasma to work first.
So you need to roll your toughness for me.
Yes.
So just click that toughness button. Wait, no, there's no toughness button. I'm being really dumb. This is where sleep deprivation causes problems.
Look, it's fine.
Toughness. No, what is your toughness? It's probably lower than 31. Would you like to spend a Benny?
Yes.
Spend a Benny.
Penny spent.
So you'll be at 2 out of 3 now. So Drufko
be.
takes a crack. Somehow, maybe by a little bit of dumb luck, you're kind of just leaning the wrong way, and you felt the bullet like take out a lock of your hair. You're incredibly lucky. But you put your hand up and you're unharmed. You're not bleeding. He very narrowly missed you. So that moves us on to Bracho.
Bracho, as the things are happening, reaches into his vesty
Pants.
cloaky thing. No pants. Vesty cloaky thing, and like there must be like loads of pockets inside there, and he pulls out some some herbal concoction.
Roll for pockets, please.
62 pockets.
62 pockets.
So
Look, I'm okay with this.
he pulls out like some concoction of herbs and like ground mushrooms and powdered mushrooms and all whatever it is. He pulls this little mix out and basically like snorts it and then goes and blows like it kind of he snorts it in his nose and then blows it out to his mouth, aiming it at the 3 or the 4 guards there. So this is his method of throwing like a confusion spell at them.
That's cool. I really like that trapping. That's awesome.
He's got to snort some herbal shit and then like spray it like a whale blowhole at them.
I'm completely
The
okay.
dream.
Okay, so do you remember the specific name of the spell it is that you're
It's called confusion.
Oh, I'm so confused.
We know. We can tell.
So its range is smarts times 2, so that puts them in range for me.
Yep.
And
What's your smarts?
D12.
Oh yeah, even because we're playing at we're playing table, we're not playing on a table, so you double that anyway. So yeah, they're easily all in range. Yep.
Yeah, and so I roll spellcasting. Is that right?
Instilling confusion and yeah, on a success, a target must make a smarts roll at -2 or be shaken. Yep.
So spellcasting, here it comes.
Now, are you targeting every enemy on the battlefield?
So the way that confusion works is that I'm targeting Dravko, but then I can spend power points to affect up to 5 others.
Yeah, so you could target everyone for 4 power points if you wanted to.
Yeah, but do I have to call it out before I make the cast, or?
It's inconsequential, so either way, doesn't matter.
All right, so here comes the roll. I get a
Yep.
5.
So whoever you're casting this at has to make a, what was it? Smarts roll.
-2.
Smarts roll -2.
Yep. So
so I will cast it on all 4 of them.
sure. So mark off 4 power points on your sheet somewhere. So here is luckily Dravko is actually not that smart himself. So excellent. So here is Dravko's.
He can just hurl fireballs. What?
3.
So he becomes shaken. Good job.
Woo! Yes.
All right. So the rest of these plebs, I'm just gonna roll it 3 times. / D4. Well, they can't pass it, can they?
No, not if they've got a D4 with a -2.
If
I
they're
don't
not
remember if
wild
they get
cards.
exploding die. I think maybe they do.
Just
Wait, doesn't. You know what? It doesn't matter.
They all confused. They all shaken. So the effect that they'd have is like they'd see this old guy snorting some stuff and then like spraying like a cloud of weird grey mist at them. But as that happens, they hear in their ears really loud screeching and screaming, and like it's almost like if you imagine the sound a tree would make when you stab it in its heart. That's what they hear in their head, which is like, what the? It's like, makes your skin crawl and your neck creep up and all of that weird stuff.
That is confirmed creepy. And yeah,
so it's not a fear thing. It's more of a like totally. What the fuck's going on?
And they're looking for the source of the noise around them, and maybe they're blocking their ears a bit, trying to figure out if it's in their brains or outside. Yeah, cool. So
exactly.
And they're all kind of just fumbling around a little bit. Awesome. Good job. Very tasty roll. So that puts Gerard next in the queue.
Yep. So given my position in the cart, I would pretty much have to choose one of the two closer ones.
Yeah, or just pull out your pistol and fire it at someone.
Well, that's the funny thing. I don't have a pistol.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go.
You're going to have to launch off the side of the cart and like...
Yeah. Instead of having a pistol, I have a short sword, a rapier, and a shield.
Enough things, bro?
Yeah, for now. So, assuming they're roughly equidistant from my position, I would probably jump to the one on the left. Yeah, jump towards the one on the left. And just go for a physical attack at his head. Or at least at him.
Sure. So, which sword are you attacking with?
Well, I'd have them both drawn.
Mm-hmm.
Dual-handed, dual-wielding.
Yeah, I'm ambidextrous, bro.
Oh, dude.
All right. So are you coming at them with both? Because now I'm going to look up ambidextrous, if that's what you're actually going to do.
Well, it's an edge, if that helps you.
Yeah, characters normally suffer a -2 penalty when performing physical tasks with the offhand.
But I do not.
And you ignore the -2 penalty for using offhand. Okay.
Yeah. For now...
As in he gets to roll 2 attacks.
Yes.
Holy shit, yeah.
Yeah. So, for now... So, imagine I've got the short sword in my right hand and the rapier in the left.
OP, mate. Please no.
In launching out of the cart, I'd come swinging down with my right with the short sword.
Okay, sure. So make your fighting check.
Yep. As soon as I find the button. Modifiers 0, I assume.
Yeah.
8.
Raise.
No. That is just a success, not a raise.
Oh.
Their parry prevents that from being a raise. But you do hit. So roll with the melee damage macro.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I love a good macro.
Mm-hmm. Number of weapon dice is 1, isn't it?
Yep.
And weapon dice size, it's a short sword, so it's a d6, I believe.
Correct.
Modifier 0.
Correct.
Oh, raise an attack roll.
0.
Yep. 10.
How do you kill him?
Awesome. He chops his fucking head off.
Hang on,
Listen,
who is it?
Macho.
Who'd you kill?
One of the brutes.
Just one of the guards next to the left. Dopey,
Cockney guy.
Dopey guard
3.
number 1.
That's hot.
Yeah, so I would assume he, being dopey guard and confused, he's not quite ready for the attack. So in my coming down with my right hand, he doesn't quite get his sword up in the time. So I just sort of cleave him in between the neck and the shoulders. In between the neck and the shoulder, in that sort of tough fleshy part.
Yep.
And break through the collarbone, and sword goes down to like mid-sternum.
Oh, God.
Essentially almost cleaving him in half.
Yes! The sternum, though! Yes!
Make a wish.
Oh, please, get your sword out of my sternum. Ah. That's what he's saying right now.
You swear you hear his dying breath.
Novelty.
Novelties. He's
No,
not saying knickknacks.
that was intentional.
Oh, okay.
Look.
No. Listen, mate.
Can you
I
see
like-
that?
No, I like your meta though.
When it gets clear, probably. Oh yeah.
Novelty
down.
items.
Bloody novelty items, isn't it? So now, we've got
Lloyd and
Askins Lloyd.
Askins.
They're probably both going to fire their weapons from the cart, sort of
Yep.
providing cover fire, for lack of a better term.
Yep. They sound like
So-
a bad 80s band.
Yes.
They do a little bit. So I've got a card for these guys. Generic card.
Or a publishing company. Askins and Lloyd.
Oh my god.
I'm just.
Yes.
Very
Alright.
terms are like.
You want that crossover? Guess what the name of the next faction is instead.
So, first Lloyd is taking a pop. Poisonous is this? Oh dang,
Jesus.
Lloyd, you sexy beast!
Lloyd, what a boss.
So
What
Lloyd
happened?
Lloyd rolls a
Rolled an
success with a raise. He's aiming for the other brute, the other nearby guard, sort of within closest range.
Sorry, I have a question. Why does he get a raise and Gerard didn't get a raise?
Because he's making a shooting test. Shooting test is always just against a D4, whereas Gerard's melee attack was against the
A
enemy
parry.
toughness. A parry, sorry, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Parry doesn't have to be a 4. It can be anything from like a -1 to whatever your armor gives you.
Yeah, right. You made your sale.
All right, mate, back off. So this guy, he's gonna roll slash 2d6. No, 3d6 because he got a raise, which adds another d6
Lloyd is-
plus 1.
Jesus. Failed a little bit in the
11.
end, but still.
That's enough. This is meant to be not an easy fight. So that guy's dead. Lloyd, you dang chump.
Oh, Lloyd, what a gun.
Jesus,
Literally.
doesn't there be anyone left?
At this rate,
So I guess Askins has a pot shot at the remaining guard or Dravko.
he may as well take a shot at Dravko, huh?
Probably.
So just a reminder that the confusion put them all in a shaken state,
Yeah.
which means
Which means they can take damage straight out, yeah?
Yeah. So the extras are insta-killed because they're already shaken.
Yeah.
That's also a success. These guys are rolling monstrous. Fucking hell.
that's a raise, right?
Yep.
Because he's shooting as well. Jesus!
So, no, that's Dravko.
Yeah.
So Dravko takes a slug to the shoulder, like between breastplate and shoulder plate. Takes a shot, and he cries out in pain, and he's not a happy chap. So he's been slugged. He's still standing. He's still breathing.
Nice one, Askins.
But Askins is taking a very fine shot.
He'll make partner for that.
So now all the baddies, which is just really one other guy right now.
Who is shaken and probably shit scared.
Yes. Well, he is shaken, so that means he has to make a spirit test first and foremost. Please roll your spirit. He'll be reasonably spiritus. Oh my god, see, everyone's rolling monster. So he passes his spirit test, so he overcomes his shaken effect, which means he can try to shoot his gun. He's going to aim at Askins because he hit his boss.
And not
So-
Lloyd for killing his friend.
Nah, he doesn't care about him. He's hit a guy Dravko. Shooting, these guys are pretty good shot. But that's a success.
Uh-oh.
So he's going to have the same, actually it's going to be a flat 2d6 slash 2d6. 7 on parry.
It's
On
shooting.
parry
isn't
7.
It? Isn't it shooting though?
It still goes through. No, sorry, toughness, but in either event, I keep getting those two confused. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So somehow Askin's probably just straight ducks. Like he makes the shot, hurts Dravko, and then kind of ducks for cover as he sees the return shot coming. Maybe just getting under the line of the cart's edges. Yeah, and
Askins
just,
promotion coming.
you guys are smashing it.
Yeah.
And that's all the baddies. So now it's Jeb's turn.
Fucking finally. So what do we got left? We got a wounded
A wounded Dravko
Dravko.
and a shaken, not stirred guard.
Nice. So it's gonna take a whole turn for me to just summon Lauren.
Yeah.
Table talk. Is it worth it?
At this point, I would say probably not, but it depends on if you think it'll add anything.
You have your pistol readied, and if
Yeah.
you didn't, it would be a whole turn to ready your pistol as well.
Exactly.
No, but isn't that one of those weapons that doesn't suffer from that because it's like at the ready?
No, because you purposefully readied it before combat started, so it's
Yeah.
readied. But if I was just reading it before, you have to ready an item.
I haven't been policing that too closely. Technically, it's true, but I mean, in this case, you do already have it out. So,
All right.
but yeah, summoning Lauren would cost you your turn. Bearing in mind, also Dravko took a bullet and didn't die, so you're dealing with something else here.
Wasps. They're coming for him. Don't worry.
Fine. I'm gonna pull Lauren out just in case this guy is like turns into some sort of demon.
So you've just got to chuck a spell casting for me.
Do we re-roll the turn order after this?
Yeah, I deal in your initiative order.
Yeah. So theoretically, Lloyd and Askins could take these guys out.
Look, don't do me like that.
Just become lieutenants in our army, mate.
They should.
Don't even.
Should
No.
roll with us from now on.
Yeah, I'm gonna disband their little 80s extravaganza. So unmodified.
Unmodified. You're good at this, bro. All right, there you
Thanks.
go. Lauren is out.
With a fail, like with a crit fail on one of those dice.
Yeah.
That's good.
He's got a very high level spell casting. So does
Yeah.
Lauren kind of just take physical form from that creepy bat summon that you did before?
She takes a few more crawled steps and then shoots off the top of the barrel somehow with enough force that I recoil as if I'd fired. And I sort of like lean into the recoil and swing around as she's hurtling up into the air, but
Nice.
still wispy. It's like the back of her is missing something.
If
And
I
then black smoke comes out my other sleeve and finishes her off.
and if I may, maybe there's almost the sound of her wings clapping, and it's so loud it almost sounds like your gun fired.
Yes.
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 Saucy. All right, cool. So Lauren is yours to command as of your next turn. Speaking of which, deal 1 card to all turn order items. So all the baddies first. Oh, Dravko's last. Come on. I want him to do some shit. I designed all these cool NPCs and they do fuck all. All right, so dude again from before, the gunner. He's getting on the move now. He's looking for cover behind something. So he's kind of running as he's looking for somewhere to hide. He's going to once again take another pot shot. Don't return fire to Askins or Lloyd again. You know, he's shooting for those guys once again. He's mad at them.
Bracho is quietly pleased of for this fodder that is existing.
Ale. So because he's running and looking for cover, you know, he's a bit panicked right now. Things are looking a little hairy. The gun cocks out in a weird way, and it whiffs, and you just hear the bullet flying off in an indeterminate direction, like way off. Terrible shot.
And then disembodied. Sorry. No problem. Sorry.
And then he tries to talk but can't for 4 seconds.
Just a quick question: is he still shaken? Doesn't wear off unless you're healed, isn't it? Is it?
Shaken doesn't wear off unless you make a successful spirit test.
Well, he missed anyway, so back
Yeah,
off.
I know,
all
but was that?
It lasts for the entirety of the thing.
Until
okay.
for combat until you roll a successful spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, boop. Thank you for mentioning that. So, Bracho, you're next.
Yeah.
Bracho is next.
Yep.
I
I feel like it's time for wasps. Come on, wasps.
Yeah.
That's me talking.
I kind of made all of these threats and then
And then snort some herbs and sneeze at them.
Wasp thieving, Raven thieving, Wasp thieving. It's definitely wasp season. So yeah, I'll do my what was my trappings for wasps? I can't remember.
Elemental wasps.
Yeah, but I can't remember how I summoned them.
I don't think you were ever really specified. You just kind of did the thing. I think come like out from your sleeves or something.
Look, that's my meta, mate.
I'm not Oprah with bees, man. Come on.
You get a wasp. You get a wasp. You get a wasp.
I'm pretty sure like his eyes roll. No, they don't even necessarily. Yeah, his eyes roll back into his head like the Undertaker, and you see like the sort of instead of like red veins like creeping up the base of his white. The whites of his eyes, there's like these dark green veins, like look like vines rolling up. You know, that's what he goes like that, and he goes, and he just sort of like waves his hand out, and there's and he aims it at someone basically.
Cool.
So he's aiming it at Dravko.
Yeah, I was going to ask because they've started separating now. They've run in opposite direction. Well, the gunners run away from Dravko, so yeah, cool. So you ping it at Dravko.
So they're not in a small radius of each other?
I would say not at this point, no.
Yeah, Dravko's taking the hit then.
Saucy.
I get an 8. So that's a raise? No. Yes.
I can't remember if he's supposed to roll against this. Which spell did we make this?
This is
Blast?
Blast, yeah.
So you've hit him essentially. So you now have to roll your whatever damage I gave you this for.
2d4.
Yep.
But we've leveled up. Would that have leveled up?
Not yet, because you have to become seasoned. So in a couple more levels, it'll do its intended damage.
Okay. So where's a damage?
So you can use range damage for this. Essentially, the range damage template will do.
Yep. Number of weapon dice is 2.
Yep.
Weapon dice as is 4.
Yep.
No mods.
Yep.
Raise an attack roll. Yes.
Yep.
9 damage. That's not that good. So he does his eyes roll back and he waves his hand, and a swarm of bees manifest out of the ether and start like bees. What did I say?
Wasps.
Bees?
Yes, you did say bees.
Wasps. I'm an idiot.
Listen,
Wasps'
Swarm of
inferior
wasps.
cousins.
Yeah. Swarm of wasps, appear out of the ether and start like swarming and buzzing and like ripping at his skin, and like he's just got pock marks all over his arms and face, any exposed skin.
Sorry, I just realized that Jarko's here.
Yes. /
Good to see you,
suicidal.
man. That's awesome. Sorry, he's an old buddy from the Grim Dawn forums.
yes.
So, a damage of 9, unfortunately, leaves Dravko looking fairly unscathed. So he kind of hunkers down as these wasps engulf him and, whirl around him and make a whole bunch of noise and racket and get at him. And then he kind of just now I'm saying it. The wasps kind of dissipate from around him, and then he kind of just unfolds himself. And there's a few tatters and rips in his clothing, but he looks not too bad.
Jesus, who the shit is this Dravko?
My question is with the way the mechanics work of this game, does the damage add up over time, or do you actually have to deal a damage that's?
If you had rolled 1 higher, you would have done a wound to Dravko.
I gotcha.
So it's damage isn't like the difference between their toughness and your damage roll. It's a threshold. So if you rolled above his toughness, you inflict damage.
You land a wound.
Yeah,
And then that toughness is 9.
Look, you could draw that assumption. Yeah.
Shit.
This fucking guy. All right.
So, GG, well played, Jebediah and Lauren.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jeb goes first, then Lauren.
Either way,
I think it's inconsequential.
Can I do something cool and do a Pokemon style team attack?
You can do a Pokemon styled team attack. Yes. Its
Yes.
coolness will be determined by your subsequent words.
All right. Excellent. So, in slow motion, mind you, with the camera zooming like from behind me and going to focus on Lauren, she flies very closely up one arm, not up the sleeve, but like along the arm, across across my back as I extend my pistol to shoot. Oh God! I guess the remaining guard. Let's do that.
Sure.
And just as I fire, she's following the bullet.
Oh, cool, man.
Right?
Good
Yes.
one. Good one.
Okay. Make yourself a shooting attack.
Yes.
How are you going to double up the attacks, though? Is it going to literally be like a dual-handed thing?
I assume one and then the other, but just for the sake of the wank, I've gone team attack.
It's called trappings, bro. No
Look.
wank.
Unassisted?
Yes.
Blam.
Ooh, nice.
That is a hit with a raise. So make your ranged damage attack.
Look, Sergeant Paradox is a troublemaker.
Yes.
Number of weapon dice is... Hang
2.
on. Is that related to my gear? Is that the weapon?
Yeah, so your ornate revolver, 2d6. So it's 2 dice.
Yeah, cool. 2d6 plus 1. Yes. Weapon dice size, so 6.
Yes,
Raise. Yes.
And this is where I put in the plus 1?
yes.
The modifier? Cool. All right, we're good.
What?
Is Zordon calling for you?
Stevens recognized my message tone.
And it was a race.
Yes, it was.
This is complicated, man.
Dude, there's a bit going on.
Dude, you nailed it.
So, how do you kill him?
Don't even
wait.
need Lauren. Jesus.
So does that mean Lauren is now wasted?
I don't know how mean to be. I feel like given the amount of wank you put into it, that Lauren just whiffs.
Yeah, no, I'm expecting Lauren to whiff, but she's gonna have fun doing it. It's fine. So, in slow motion still, the bullet splashes up into his breast, into his bosom there, and straight through the heart. And as the blood flies out, it's covering Lauren in red, and maybe she follows the bullet in and out the other side.
That's gross.
So there's a
Gross.
raven-sized hole through this guy.
So then, and this guy was kind of mid-stride because he was running for cover. So you pegged him on the move, and his momentum takes him forward. So he lands face first into the dirt and kind of slides a few feet. Just then you see the gaping wound out the back, and I assume Lauren, out from within. That's gnarly.
Yes.
If anyone's standing nearby, they will get blood splattered.
So Gerard, you are up. Do you even have the movement range to make it to?
I do
Dravko?
not. I do not, and I know that, but I have already planned out my move.
Okay, hit me.
So I can move up to 8 meters with my bung leg.
Yes.
So I would basically move in a beeline. Not a beeline, like...
A wasp line.
Yes. I would basically move so I can...
For God's sake.
I'd move on the best possible angle to get closer to Dravko, but also get sort of in line with the fence, so it'd have some kind of cover from his next attack.
Mm-hmm.
And while doing that, I would probably put away the rapier and ready my shield.
Okay, sure. So you're kind of just moving into like defensive flanking position kind of thing?
Yeah, pretty much. Flanking / get the hell out of the way of his attacks.
Sure. Sounds good.
And because I'm melee, it makes sense to get closer.
Well, naturally.
But I'm assuming that I'm still probably a bit too far away to attack on my next hit anyway, but that's up to you, depending on how he moves.
Yeah, well, look, it's getting pretty dicey. You got these guys now,
Lloyd and Askins.
and Lloyd. What would they do?
I feel like they both shoot.
Yeah, pretty much. let's say Askin hops down, but he's kind of just like takes a knee on the ground. He jumps out of the cart, but then just takes a knee, kind of just next to it. Askin's shooting. He misses. Good
Balls.
job. Finally, one of these guys screwed something up.
Stupid Askins.
Dude, it's not even an interesting fight. Stop winning.
Look,
I told
Askins
him not
was
to do that.
by the bloody Raven meta.
So Lloyd fires from the cart. Askins does his cool commando move, hopping off the cart, takes a knee, and like gets his aim all sorted out. 2 bullets, 2 slugs go whiffing past Dravko, and he's still intact.
He went past him, of course he is.
And look, now
No, that's his
Dravko's
one
up.
weakness. Missed shots.
Dravko's up, and he's had enough.
Oh, fuck.
He's confirmed had enough. If I can find his damn character sheet. So that grenade from earlier,
Oh, God.
he pulls the pin, and he lobs it at the cart.
Oh, fuck.
Yep. He's mad. So he needs to make a throwing check. Watch him
Mad,
screw.
bro.
Watch him screw this up.
Hopefully it'll be like when you roll a mental save.
No, he nails it.
Balls.
So, if I can establish positions,
Did you
Gerard's-
roll the turn order, by the way?
no, Dravko's last. So this
yeah,
is
he
the
was
end of the
last.
quarter.
So
So, yeah. Gerard, you moved kind of away.
yeah, and readied my shield.
Okay. Yes. Bracho and Jeb, you stayed near the cart, on the cart.
Yeah, next, yeah.
I didn't get up. I'm smoking a joint.
I was cart adjacent.
Okay, so you're all in potential range. Essentially,
What's his range?
medium,
Holy shit.
medium burst. So
Is-
2d4 affects all of you. So here comes his damage.
I don't like that.
Does this roll against anything, or is it just
Yeah,
flat
it'll still
damage?
be against your toughness.
Okay.
So depending on fluff
Yeah.
narrative, you either get hit or you don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty dang sure. Wait, area of effect. Does have a thing. High explosive range is a burst down the size of which is noted. Yep, I'm just double checking. There is a little grenade, special effects, and blah blah blah. Cover. No, so he succeeded. So the throw doesn't deviate.
Ah, damn it.
Okay. Interesting. So it does read here, diving for cover, throwing weapons with a blast effect, such as grenades and artillery, allow potential targets a chance to move out of the area of effect. Give targets who saw the danger coming an agility roll at -2 to jump out of the way and avoid the damage. Now, how exactly to ascertain whether you saw it coming? I don't really know. That sounds a little fluffy to me.
I feel like we probably all saw it coming at some point, considering he drew it so early.
Well, he's kind of done it all at once to draw the pin, but he did pull it out earlier. I would allow you all to make an agility roll at -2.
Does that include Lloyd and Askins?
Yeah, they'll make it 2. So everyone give that a whirl. Just your agility. It should be just one of your traits. Just
Too
should have
bad
a
none of
macro
us can
next to it.
move quickly.
Bracho
-2.
fails. At -2, yeah, -2 modifier.
Boom. Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
Jesus.
Dude, I got a wooden leg. What do you want?
How do you roll a negative?
Oh, shit.
Holy shit, that just went from bad to worse.
Because you roll double ones with a -2. Well, there's no crit fail here. You just fail, right? I'm just checking Lloyd and Askin's agility. D6. So Lloyd, Askins,
So Lloyd gets out the way.
Lloyd succeeds. Did he jumped off the cart before? I think, didn't he?
No, Askins jumped off the cart.
Okay, so Lloyd goes for like full commando dive off the back of the cart, seeing this grenade coming. He just goes, and the
Slow
grenade,
motion.
yeah, then an explosion like engulfing up behind him, right?
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Steve.
Michael Bay is just like loving it.
Because this is a new attack for me, I'm just going to double check its damage. I'm pretty sure it's quite saucy.
Sideshow Paradox says, yeah, with those fails of Jeb and Gerard, you rolled more in towards the blast.
Look, I'm not going to be that guy.
I would be.
That's
Oh, wait,
why
there
you're
it is.
GMing the non-combat game.
Grenade 3d6. Cool. So that's just the damage that it does. All right, here it comes. It's fine. Let's just do this.
3d6?
3d6.
Shit.
So who has a toughness of 11 or more?
I have a toughness of 9, including mods.
Not good enough. You know, I have your toughnesses here.
Mine is less than that.
5. And Jebediah also has a 5 toughness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine's,
damn.
mine's 7 plus 2 with armor.
Finally
dead?
got.
We
No,
dead
you,
yet?
you know when
You
you're
have,
dead.
you have to get shaken before you actually take damage, though.
Is it, mate?
And
You-
I believe the way it works is if it's a raise on your toughness, then you can get shaken and wounded.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking. Raise, character suffers a wound for every raise. Now you all have bennies.
Yes.
I will say this.
I'm using it.
I won't, because I'll just take the shakenness for now.
I've
So
got
hang on.
a-
What?
You and I, Jeb, have been shaken and wounded in one hit.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many
got it.
wounds do we get in total?
3.
So we're 1 wound of 3 in total. And how do we heal a wound? You've got to go back to town and...
Yeah, some narrative thingy, or you take some rest. I think there's medicine checks as well that you can.
Some
You can
darkest
do-
dungeon method.
Yeah. So what can I use the Benny on? Removing the shakenness?
Yes.
I will do that.
So he can
I-
get wounded, but is not shaken anymore.
I'm just checking.
Okay.
There are so many rules in this game, yo.
Oh, players. Like, do you even RPG?
Trying.
Players, teach me how to play role-playing games.
Bennies can be used to save your bacon from deadly attacks. Choose carefully where you spend them. See
Hang
damage.
on, but we didn't roll for bacon. Wait a second, which stat is that?
Soak roll, it's called. Wounds, timing. Characters take multiple hits on the same action card, resolve each damage
Gotcha.
roll separately, and completely before moving on to the next, including soak rolls. Soak rolls. Character may spend a Benny to make a soak roll, which is a vigor check.
Yes.
A success, and each raise reduces the number of wounds suffered by that from that attack by 1.
And then if the character soaks all wounds from an attack, he removes his shaken condition too. So you can spend a Benny to make a vigor check.
Yeah, but what if you fail a vigor check?
What if you're a 60-year-old shaman who smokes too much?
You might not have the best vigor.
I thought you were older than that.
But I think separately you could. I understand you could spend a Benny just to remove shaken, but take the wound, because that is allowed. Spending Bennies, my player may spend a Benny at any time to remove his or her shaken status. So you can do that. So you can attack without dealing with your shaken effect, but you still are wounded.
Yeah, I'll
But
do that.
does that then mean they need to get shaken again to take damage later on?
I'd presume so. Yeah, that's how the shaken status works. So, yep.
Sounds
So-
like a deal to me.
Jeb, you're taking a wound, but not shaken.
One
right?
wound. Yes.
Okay, so that's how you spend your Benny. Yeah. So take a Benny off, Bracho.
Same.
Okay, 1 wound, not shaken.
Are
Cool.
we thrown from the cart or anything like that?
Oh yeah, there's this big like kaboom of stuff, right? The grenade lands pretty much in the middle.
Where's the kaboom?
Well,
There's
it lands
to be an earth-shattering a kaboom.
kaboom. Oh yeah, also Pleb Footman.
It obstructs my view of Venus.
Lloyd's okay. Askins gets shaken.
Actually, I can do that voice.
Hang
Where's
on.
the kaboom?
Askins gets shaken.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom.
So his toughness
It's
is
like
at
Shaggy's son.
least 7.
Correct.
Cool. Good to know.
So yeah, that happens. So, yeah, the grenade lands like right in the middle of the cart and just right, and there's just wood just flies everywhere, and there's this
Hang on. What about the poor horses?
explosion of fire. Look,
Their toughness is 14. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, it's pretty hot.
but you and Bracho are between the horses right now, so you take the damage kind of for them. So this
Okay, we save
shrapnel erupts, maybe luckily, reducing the overall velocity of the blast, and bits of stuff hit your armor and clink against you, and your ears are ringing. Even Gerard, from your distance over there, shrapnel comes over towards you and gets you in the shin or something. I don't know. It didn't hurt that much for you, Gerard, but big explosion grenade destroys cart. Horses, let's say, seem okay.
Yeah.
Are they spooked? Do they run away?
Man, they could make a spirit check, but look, that's going a little too far for right now.
How about we just say they run away and the refugees stop them, we get them later.
Bracho... Wait, no, that's the end of this turn.
Yeah.
So did we want to... I know Bracho expressed to me maybe taking a quick drinks break. Is that still on the cards, Brach?
Yes, please.
Okay.
All right. So Bracho, wipes a little... Dravko wipes a little bit of blood from the corner of his mouth, and he has his wicked-looking smile. He's looking real gnarly. And just breathing kind of heavily. Looking a bit
Question
evil.
before we break for drink break. Was I thrown by the force, or was I just sort of bracing against it and I got hit by shit?
Rule on how you get thrown.
Or you could just drop out from.
Are you still there?
I'm still here, yeah.
Yeah, I've lost Kluger.
Yeah, I
me
have
too.
2 now. Okay, maybe we'll go for the break now and we'll answer that question later.
All right.
Well, there's no specific rule for it. It doesn't say that you get thrown to the ground. So maybe you do, but only narratively.
Cool.
Anyway, let's
Okay.
take a quick break.
Back soon, everybody.
There.
Okay, and we're back, everybody. Hopefully we weren't too long for all of you.
All right. Hello. Yes, here we go. New initiative order. Dang, that's some close rolls. There's 2 8s and 2 9s, so suit order will decide this, actually.
Well, your 9 doesn't matter. Because they're all dead.
Listen, mate. You happy now? Oh.
I am, actually, yes.
So good guys be first.
Lloyd and Askins. Go, fellas, go.
So Lloyd was the one who managed to survive that blast, so he'll be first.
Yeah,
he
so
kind
he's
of
not shaken.
He tumbles out from the field of debris that's recently been created, the dust and smoke all erupting everywhere. Lloydio makes a shooting test. Getting good at these macros. Oh my god, would you stop being good at the game?
Why can't
So
you
he-
roll like this when you're rolling as Ellis to make a mental save?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. So he hits with a raise. So 3d6 plus 1.
Ooh.
Ravko's haggard. So maybe somewhere in the sternum, you know, Lloyd pulls his sick tumble move, takes a knee, lifts, you know, similar to Askin's before, but
But he
then
hits.
boom, like maybe like just above the hip somewhere, like just a bullet just wedges itself right in there, and Dravko kind of hunches over the wound, you know, like leaning on it with his elbow and forearm, and it really hurt him a lot. And so now Askins, wait, no, he has to first make his spirit check.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was D. That'd be fair. Oh my gosh. All right, so he can shoot. These guys are killing it, man. These guys are fiends.
Well, that's why we chose them.
Whiff. All right. So Askins is still a little bit shaken. You know, he was right next to the cart when it exploded, so he's kind of groggily regained his feet, taken a shot, probably seeing 2 Dravkos, and yeah, unfortunately can't connect with the bullet.
2 Dravkos.
Gerard?
Okay. I need to know if Dravko has moved closer yet. I need to know if he's within my attacking range, or if I need to do another saucy cover move.
Did you move directly towards him on your last turn?
As directly as possible, but still sort of moving in a slight line towards the fence.
He was kind of like 20 meters away.
Yeah, so I probably would still be 12-ish away.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
you know, if I was fit and healthy, sure, 12's fine. But with
I'll
this...
offer you a bargain.
Oh, God.
No, it's no big deal, but you can spend, you can make any subsequent actions at -2 penalty to move an additional 1d6 inches, so to be double that. So you could move another 2d6 meters at the cost of a -2 to any subsequent actions this turn.
-2, you said, right?
Yeah, so your attack roll will be made at a -2.
Alright. So my actual attack roll, not my fighting check.
So that thing, same thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
same
fighting
thing,
your
okay.
fighting check.
Alright.
Players. Oh, give me a good attack roll.
My fighting is a D10.
Please.
This is a genuinely difficult decision.
Nah, it's not. Do it. Do it. You won't.
How much do you have to lose?
I'm shaken, right?
Yeah, yes.
Drop the shaken.
I suppose I could do that. Nah, I
Currently
decided
you're
not to do
shaken.
that. Yeah, alright, I'll do that. I'll move within range and take the -2.
Okay. So you can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I think it stipulates actions are made at a -2 penalty.
Okay.
Characters suffer a -2 penalty to all other actions made while running. So now you've got to make your spirit check against your shaken effect.
Oh,
unless
shit. Forgot about that.
Well, that's if you want to attack, of course.
Yeah, well, it makes kind of no point to get within range and then not attack.
True that.
So spirit check, 0 modifier? Or is this the -2?
No, it's not an action, so just flat.
Oh, 4.
Success?
Yeah.
So now you can go on to make your fighting check.
Do you know how
This is
lucky
at
that
a
roll is?
-2.
Because I have a D4.
That's pretty good.
Alright, so fighting at -2, right?
Yes, correct.
Fruik.
GG. So look, Drafko's pretty beat up, but he kind of sees you coming towards him at not a stupendous pace, so he does his best to straighten up. And he's just got a gun in his hand. He's got nothing else about him, just decent looking armor, and he kind of just somehow does his best to like maybe lean back and just has a bit of a whiff action going on.
He
Just-
matrixes it.
He kind of like really janky matrixes it because he's pretty banged up, but he manages to just sneak out of the way.
Okay.
So yeah, good try. Bad luck. Jebediah. And Lauren, the Raven.
I'm going to take my shot first.
Do it.
So I guess
You
I'll
are not-
roll. Shit, where is it?
You're not shaken, so yeah, you can roll your shooting.
Shooting, there it is. Unmodified, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nine.
Bloom.
That's with the raise. Make your ranged damage roll.
Mm-hmm. 2d6.
Mm-hmm.
0 modifier
Mm-hmm.
with a raise. Let's do this.
Nice.
Ah, plus.
Not quite, unfortunately for you, sir. So you've taken the shot, and I think it just takes an intact piece of his armor and kind of just deflects off or absorbs most of it. He stumbles a little bit, but he's refusing. He's taking a beating, but he's just refusing to go down. Lauren still has her turn, so
I'm so disappointed in you. All right. Nah. So, yeah. What do I specify what she does, or do I roll her first, or what?
you just tell her what to do, and then I've got her stats.
Okay.
So
Shit.
she can attack and mess with like she's got an attack or a move called My Eyes. I've coined it,
Mhm.
which is if she raises on a fighting roll, she can cause blindness and other
Mhm.
impairments. Her default attack is a strength plus D6 with her spread at dudes, and she's got decent fighting abilities as well.
Yes. Fight the Raven.
Yeah, man, she's pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
TBH.
Look.
Listen,
What was the second one again? Because you cut out. You said the 2. What was it? The plus D6. And what was the action? What's she doing there?
She can blind enemies essentially and cause minus.
That was the
The My Eyes one.
My Eyes one. The one after that.
Oh, so her default fighting attack is like with her
Oh,
beacon claws, just like shredding at someone, and that does strength plus D6 damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that to his face.
Awesome. Yeah, Lauren in action. This is what we want to see, man. So she's got a D8 in fighting. Let's do it the cool way though. Lauren the Raven,
Yes.
a swoop, awesome attack with a D8. that flavor text. Oh god, so good. Parry, awesome. So that hits. Good job.
Go
So
Lauren.
yeah, Lauren getting a Dravko's face and eyes and ears and all that sort of stuff makes what's her strength? What have I given her for strength? D4 because she's a small-ish bird. D4 plus D6. 6 damage. Not quite. GG. If she had made a raise on the fighting roll, that would have been cool, but she unfortunately didn't. So Lauren is viciously getting after Dravko's eyes and face and just pecking and clawing and making some swoops, but still this guy just doesn't want to he doesn't want to leave you alone. He just bats the raven away, swings his the butt of the gun at, up at Lauren, and she's kind of slightly deterred from making further attacks. So Dravko's next, and he's haggard, but I think he's too proud to just give up. Is he? Is he though? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh shit!
Oh, the question is does he have the morale to like fight to the last stand and like?
But it's kind of like
does he have the morale to?
It's
like,
more like how lucrative is he, right? Like he doesn't make any gold if he's dead, so maybe he can bargain his way out of this. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna chat. Talking about the old times. Mental effects save. Yeah, it totally is that. I'm thinking like a spirit check, and if he succeeds, he continues the fight. So let's try that.
D20.
Wait, that was the right one. Yeah. So he fails a spirit test. He's had it. He's done.
Jeez.
So like, you can see the blood stain, on his right side where he's been shot, and the blood trickling down his armor at the shoulder. And
Awesome.
Lauren and the wasps have all torn at his flesh, so he's got blood streaking down here, maybe a black eye. And he raises his hands. He's still got the gun in one hand, and he raises the other, and he says, all right. I think we've had our fun. You make an excellent point. I think I might have been charging just a little too much for you blokes.
How about 50 quid?
Now, I've got a beautiful little setup just over the way, as you can see. Nice, tidy little encampment. You're welcome to join me. We can talk this out like gentlemen.
Can I shoot him again?
He's kind of just standing there. He's kind of surrendered. So,
But just out of Laura, I'm not going to. But just out of curiosity, what would happen mechanics wise?
I feel like him surrendering takes us out of the turn order.
And you would just kill him.
So you could make an attempt to shoot him. Yeah.
What, seriously?
Yeah. You might not hit him. You
Look,
try.
even if I miss, it'll be funny. So, all right, let's do this.
So just the regular dude shooting test like before.
Yeah.
That's classic. I love it.
Oh god.
So it almost works out like a warning shot, right? You miss so badly that he thinks you're just like shooting into the sky to just scare him. So he kind of ducks a little bit and goes, all right.
But it's very much like it's got the tone of my reflexes weren't fast enough to stop from surrendering. So it's like, all right, we can talk this out.
Awesome.
Yep, exactly. Did you guys just lose Bracho, or was it just me?
Just
No,
you.
he's with me.
All right, I'm reloading 1 second.
Alright.
Players reload.
Everyone again. Sorry, hello, I'm back.
Cool. Get back.
Yeah, so, all right, I get it. You make a good point, like I said. Do you want to have a chat about this? I got plenty of gold back there from the other bozos what have come through here before. The ones that have paid up left me with a pretty penny. And he's had his hands in the air, but then like he's putting his hand back down because he's kind of stretching the wound at his side, and so he's leaning back over to try and stem the bleeding.
Is he still holding weapons and stuff?
He's got the gun. He's got his pistol in his hand, but it's raised above his head, and he's trying to raise the other one too, but keeps putting it back.
Bracho like stumbles over using his staff as like an aid, as he does, and gets close enough to him and points using his staff with 2 hands like this, points up at the pistol and says, "Drop it on the ground."
Do you have persuasion?
Dude. You want me to roll persuasion?
Yeah, it'll be a pretty easy one, but it'd be funny if it didn't work.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to modify it?
Yeah, +1.
9.
All right. He just meets your eyes. He doesn't say a word, and it just from that height, it just kind of falls out of his hand and rolls to the floor.
And with the staff, he like hooks it and like flicks it away from him
Mm-hmm.
because he probably would.
Yep. Cool. I get the feeling you didn't necessarily just want to get through down south. I feel like maybe there was other business here.
Oh. Dravko, you finally clued on, my friend.
Yeah.
I've got 1 or 2 IQ points over them brutes what you killed, but I can put 2.
Oh,
Is Kluger roboting for anyone else?
Yeah, I was going to say he's real
such a
potato for me.
No,
Oh, now
Yeah.
you're back.
I lost
Oh,
lost
he's
Bracho
got
again, though.
together.
Okay, so while he's bringing it back,
Table talk.
yeah.
Am I fine?
Yeah,
Oh,
you are
now
now.
you are, apparently.
So yeah, okay. So he realizes that we're here to bust up
Yeah.
the operation.
But
But just table talk for a second.
okay.
No, look, we'll character talk it. I think it's important, probably not to meta game it too hard. So, but I assume everyone's going to kind of come over and stand like fairly close. In a
Yeah, well, I was
conversational
pretty much
circle.
already there, so.
And
Jebby.
Lloyd's helping Askins over, who's been a bit shaken up from the fight. So
Bracho says, "Well, yeah, you might be able to do some basic maths in your head, mate, but you haven't been able to stop us, have you?"
Wow.
my mum always said I was the best at maths, but anyway, look. It seems on this particular day I may have been bested just a little bit. You're lucky I didn't get my other grenades off, otherwise you might get strife. But look, I'm a lucrative individual. If there's a coin to be made, I'm better off being alive, don't you think?
You are good with your maths.
I think you should roll persuasion.
Well, it's up to you whether you're persuaded or not, right?
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't get an NPC to roll persuade against you.
No, I'm kidding.
At this point, after his little speech there, Gerard would. Yeah, all right. So basically, I'd offer him a deal. All right, Dravko. I'll give you an option. You can keep all the gold you've got, minus what you wanted to take off us.
All right.
But leave this spot forever.
Do you mean just me, or
Anyone in your group who we haven't murdered.
do they have to be here right now?
The scallywag.
No. Anyone in your group,
Money?
past, present, and future.
I mean, someone could interrupt. This is all kind of happening at the same time, right?
Oh, look, I don't. Yeah, Bracho is just kind of like confused. Whatever.
Long story short, you're affecting Darkvale, and I don't like that. And so you vacate this spot. You keep your life, so you can continue making the coin that you so right. Yes.
While you're talking to him, Bracho shuffles around the back of him and pulls out his dagger and stabs it in his neck.
Oh, that's so brutal.
So Game of Thrones. All right.
Look, I don't know if that can just happen necessarily.
No,
Make-
I don't want to be that guy. My gunshot didn't happen.
How do I? Yeah, go on.
I was thinking a stealth check. If you can kind of, do you just like want to stab him one to his face, or are you trying to sneak around the back to slit his
Not
throat?
sneaking around. I'm just literally. He's standing there with his arms in the air, talking to Gerard. I walk around the back of him and just.
Yeah, but that's kind of conspicuous, don't you think?
But he's not. It's the last thing he's expecting. Because we're having a conversation.
Well-
we're having a conversation with him about how he's going to like. What are the terms of the surrender? I'm just going to go up and murder him.
My guess is that he'd notice Bracho walk around, but he wouldn't have any inclination that it would end badly for him. So he'd just ignore it.
I don't have a dagger like hanging on a chain on like
You sure it's not on one of your dreadlocks? So you just
Look,
I still wouldn't trust a guy who just thrown wasps at him, sneaking up behind him.
I appreciate you trying to counter GM me, but a wily bandit such as Dravko, who's seen a lot, even during surrender, is not so silly as to completely fall asleep on what's going on around him. All right, rather than your stealth, look, he's not the brightest tool in the shed, but like I said, he's a wily guy. He's untrained in this. You know, I can just use his thing actually. So
he can.
Yeah,
and he's a bit haggard.
you're
I'll
into
roll
that.
him at a -1. He fails to notice you. Okay,
Pretty much.
how does this happen?
Oh well, like I described, I kind of like just wander around while he's distracted talking to Gerard about, he thought he's lucky that he's had his we've agreed to the surrender per se. So he's like, oh, how can I bargain more?
Yeah.
The traitor that he is, the scallywag that he is, right?
He probably got hung up on the detail of so I can keep all the gold,
Yeah.
and that really drew him into the negotiation. That was the point that you were able to strike.
Yeah, pretty much.
In that
So-
case, you're welcome, Bracho.
So it's just a
Oh.
clean blade across the neck, and you hear like the gasp and gurgle of someone who just had their throat slit,
Yeah.
and falls to his knees, tumbles forward. Shook
And
of the arm.
Bracho's standing there leaning against his his
Yeah, yeah.
staff. So like there's the body that
Yes.
just collapses, and there's just Bracho with like a
I was going to say, we see it from the front. So we see Dravko talking to Gerard, all enthralled, and we just see like his face changes. This knife runs across his throat, and he falls forward, and then we just see Bracho just standing there in frame.
I'm kind of imagining it like mid-sentence as I'm talking to this guy. I just get sprayed with blood after I notice the knife. And I'm just like,
Well, we jump cut from Bracho to like the camera spins to Gerard startled with like this spatter of blood across his face.
excellent, perfect, fantastic. That's
oh
right.
man, and I was going to do like this pointed wiping his mate's blood off my sword on his chest, and man...
It kind of sucks when someone kills the person that you're like, or changes the plan there in front of you, doesn't it?
I never tried to kill him, I just tried to incapacitate him.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And so now
Mother of God.
stillness full
Oh, potato.
Alright, so we've lost Kluger.
crane shot. Hello?
Alright,
Yes.
So we get a bit of a crane shot of the battle scene as hush settles down. Those crimson leaves floating through on the floor. This destroyed cart in the middle of the shot, and a small crowd has started to develop as well. There's been gunshots and yelling and all sorts of stuff, and a few of the refugees have started wandering over. And from around the corner of the farmhouse, you see ostensibly the proprietor in his overalls and his shirt, kind of leaning out from around, ever so warily. looking at the 5 of you.
Did anyone see me cut the dude's throat?
Doesn't really. Are you particularly concerned about being caught slitting somebody's throat?
No, I'm more concerned about like the Mexican wave of cheer that emanates out.
Look, before any Mexican wave of anything emanates from whatever the face, Jeb stamps his wooden leg and goes, "Damn it, Bradshaw. I was boom," and shoots the corpse. Go into boom. Interrogate him. Boom. Click, click.
And now the crowd starts to sort of get a little thicker and slowly, you know, they're ways away. They're like 50, 60, 70 meters away, and there's some a bit perturbed by the gunshot, and others are kind of slowly wanting to see what's going on, ever so warily.
Bradshaw leans in and says to the other guys of the group, Jeb, Gerard, and Askins and Lloyd, the proprietors of the local ice creamery.
Man, these guys are rolling in it. They're publishers, they're pop stars.
So, you know, Bradshaw leans in, you know, looking over the corpse and says, you know, there'll be more. He goes, huh, huh, there'll be more. I have to do it, right?
No, it gets me every time.
There'll be more of them. We should put his head on a spike.
Jesus Christ.
Funny you should mention that, Bradshaw. Once you decided to land that killing blow, that was the first thing that popped into mind.
Yeah, we should try and deter any other bandits coming in here and making a stronghold.
Agreed. That is probably a sound move, now that he's dead anyway.
I say we let the refugees take everything that they find here, and we continue down the path south, just to make sure we meet the next trade caravan and escort them back.
May I suggest, before we let these refugees tear apart this camp, that we go through it first, in case there's something we don't want them to have, or would be more useful for us to have. Yeah.
Is, just to clarify, his stash of gold and maybe
anything else?
Anything else possibly? Is that at the camp or is it elsewhere? Is it visible?
We have to go searching.
Not from here. You have to go.
No, but I mean, like, do we know where it is, or are we just assuming that maybe it's
in this camp?
Close.
Yeah. So you can quite clearly see the pile of supplies they've been hoarding, and then there's the little encampment and lean-tos and stuff sort of next to it, about 50 meters away on the other side of the fence. So
it's like in Skyrim, man. You got to like go, look for tomatoes in barrels.
Listen,
it's pretty much the situation you've got going on right now.
Listen. All right. So while they were discussing that, Jeb is just muttering under his breath, clearly disgruntled, waddling towards the supplies to go see what they've got.
Now, before we do that, it's after 11 p.m. local time. Should we do that next episode?
Well, I want to see what the loot is.
Oh, you want to crack the loot open?
Give the GM time to reward us for our amazing fighting skills.
Yeah, like TBH, LOL. I don't quite know what you're going to find.
But
I'm
also,
happy to put it on pause to come back to the loot.
Look, TBH. Hypothetically, if one of us had some sort of vague quest where they needed a certain item with no leads as to where it might be, it might be useful if that person at least knew if it was here perchance.
Yes.
I think that's a good cliffhanger to find out next week.
And actually, that's why I suggested we go through it first, not metagaming at all.
Yes.
But
sounds like metagaming to me.
But besides that point, I would suggest that we go through it regardless.
Yeah, we got a hunt for loot, but Bradshaw doesn't really care too much for loot now. He's got 300 GP and a dagger. He's cool.
And he's just apparently into ghosting motherfuckers after we've already beaten them.
I thought he had 450 or 440.
Plus the 300 from the Den of Doom.
Yeah.
which is now our, bunker of booze.
Awesome. So I think we put our closing shot is sort of around the three of you, and we zoom out a little bit again, and the refugees are now. The gunshots have died down, and slowly this group of refugees starts to engulf the area and have a look around and see what's going on. You see the woman you spoke to on your way in, who explained to you what was going on. And she's kind of looking at you knowingly. And the three of you kind of glance at one another as she knows, she recognizes you from before. And that's when the music of our closing credits sort of just swells.
Yes.
Fades to black. And that's the episode.
So secondary outpost.
No,
Yes.
absolutely not.
Blame Sideshow Paradox.
I was thinking it, but I was like, no, we'll give it to the refugees. They'll-
Nah, we will become the new highwaymen.
This is already this is owned farmland and sawmill. It's not like you can just stick your flag into every piece of land you come across.
Grivers is fine. He's fine.
I love the contrast of the two games we're running at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, Kaluga is GM. We're just taking advantage of him at every turn, and we say, "Hey, here's a stronghold that he never in his wildest dreams intended us to take as a game mechanics breaking base of operations," and we take it. And then you got Swin, which it's like, oh, can we please GM maybe have this ship? Will you let us?
Look, we barely even had to roll for that ship.
It's like you've got the ship, but you got it so easily. You're like, what the fuck is gonna happen? How are you gonna destroy us next? We're not gonna keep it. Are we gonna keep it? Can we keep it, please? So, it is a good juxtaposition.
Yes.
Look, I can try harder to kill you.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, in a bit of feedback, I don't think it's any individual's fault, but man, combat takes ages.
It does a bit.
Yeah.
It does, but I think it has actually gotten quicker since our first fight.
Oh, a lot quicker.
Don't forget, we're having a lot more turns at the moment, as well.
Yeah.
There was more people on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I agree that did take a while, but
It was pretty much the whole session. So, but we did have a shorter session than usual. So
not that much shorter, was it?
it's about 2 hours, wasn't it?
It's 2 hours 24 by my stream clock.
Yeah.
Look, TH, I'm not looking forward to us having more minions and then the turns being spread out even further.
But mass battles is a different thing. So once you get
Was
to
it?
there's rules for larger groups of battles and stuff,
Okay.
which is more streamlining. And that's the sort of thing I was thinking for like boss showdown. We bring our minions and stuff. Alternatively, we do the we can probably have a look around the webs, Reddits and Google Pluses and stuff to find if there's any other ways of streamlining combat in Savage in its worlds.
Yeah. Also, what's his name? Drivel was particularly tough.
Dravko.
Dravko. So, Dravko was your first
boss.
Semi-boss?
NPC wild card. Enemy
Okay.
wild card. So, equivalent to you guys in terms of
Stature.
Exactly. I mean, technically speaking, he was actually stronger. Like, if any one of you 1v1'd him, he would have probably taken you out.
Can I 1v1 him IRL? IRL?
Yes, you can. That's a different story.
Yes. But anyways,
I think this is the first time we've taken wounds, though.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign in a bad way.
Well, it's got to feel challenging, right? And because I'm still learning this system as we go, dialing in the combat to actually be to feel challenging is still a thing I'm figuring out.
Yeah.
And that was closer.
That was pretty close, man.
Look, you guys weren't even close to dying.
If it weren't for our publishing team, we would have been in trouble, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but again, I balance the fight based on your publishing team coming along with you, kind of thing.
Look, our publishing team who moonlights as a detective agency, private eye, on the weekends.
Running an ice
Slash,
creamery during the days.
Absolutely.
During the nights.
That's just a front.
For the publishing
Yeah.
company?
They could also be lawyers.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
I did think that
absolutely.
too, but I prefer publishers.
Furthermore, what's the
Lloyd
who
and
and Lloyd
Askins.
is it?
Askins.
Askins.
Askins and Lloyd Shalowitz is their name.
Shalowit, as in like the Jewish surname.
That's correct.
All right. So the thing about combat with those guys as well is that they rolled above average. So it's not that your combat was unbalanced, man. It was that
Yeah, it was
the
just that they
rolls
rolled
favored.
really well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shredded.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
But anyways,
That's just a thing. That's
Alright.
it's just what happened, and
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Last thing we do before we sign off. Did everyone select a catchphrase for themselves?
not yet.
Okay.
I did.
You did? What's yours?
Actually, mine was. I'd written it down. I've never used it in the game so
I've
far.
never used mine.
Mine was in my day.
I imagine that's like if you were a Baldur's Gate companion, that's what you'd say if we clicked on you.
Yeah. And you'd cycle through. You'd get through all the things I'd say, and then it'd just hang on the last thing I said every time.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine was, and I honestly, I can't imagine Jeb ever saying this now that I've fleshed out the character a little more. But I'm going to curse you in your soft parts.
That's a bit cheesy, Jeb.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But anyways,
That's pretty cool.
is
Okay.
this... I think this is the end for the night?
So
We're done.
I guess the in time for the next session we'll need to maybe have a bit of a async planning of where do we go next? What scenes do we want to tackle next? Like, are we going to head further south? Are we going to head back to town?
Yep.
Probably
Secondary stronghold, for sure.
give the farmer his land back, maybe as part of the thing.
Wow. Yeah.
But yeah. But obviously all of the refugees are heading south as well at the same time. So if we all took off, there'd just be a swarm of refugees behind us, which is interesting. I feel like that's
Possibly.
sort of
I don't feel like
that.
they'd all take off at once, so...
No. It'd be like a long string of them, but the more opportunistic ones would definitely start to move out pretty much
Yeah. Well, that would make
straight
sense.
away. Anyway, but that's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, let's do that. Thanks for hosting, Stevens. Thanks for running
worries.
the game, Klugers.
No problem.
It's going well. I feel like we're really taking shape.
Please help me.
Although Bracho keeps surprising me. I don't like it.
Classic.
Yeah, right? I feel like one of these days I'm going to have to 1v1 Bracho.
Yeah, maybe that's the boss battle at the end. But you know, the reason why he knifed the dude's throat, just to put this out there, is
Yeah, I would like to know why.
the reason why he was doing that was he's seen guys like this and he knows that they'll never change,
Yeah, fair enough.
right? And additionally, he felt like, why should Gerard get to negotiate some cool thing when Bracho tried to negotiate some cool thing and Gerard just jumped out and attacked? So it was like, you know what, now we're even kind of thing. That was what was going through Bracho's mind.
Jesus Christ.
I love it.
He's
He's
such a
always
petty old little man.
Yeah.
Best
He
kind
says-
of petty old man.
Swings and roundabouts, mate. That accent changes every time I talk.
It has.
Oh dear.
We should all just, in 2 weeks, all just sign on and go, huh,
We just did, mate. Just
2 hours.
did.
All right.
All right, switch it off, Steve.
See you later,
Everybody's
everyone.
Social media links down below. We'll see you next week for Nova Terra.
It's right above your head, isn't it? Oh, the links.
up on our
Okay, the
show.
links. Never mind. All right. Bye, everyone.